Boom shakalaka, this is very scary for Bitcoin. Why this is Bitcoin's last hope. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Brandon here from Crypto Love. Today's video, this is very scary for Bitcoin. Why this is Bitcoin's last hope. Before we get into it, like the video, join us on Twitter through Crypto Love. And of course, subscribe to the OG Bitcoin and Crypto YouTube channel, making daily videos longer than just about everybody else or everybody else if not everybody else. Now today, Fear and Greed Index at 34, sideways from yesterday, down from last week. We are back in fear. The overall market down 3% today. Bitcoin 81,796, Ethereum 1793, XRP 204, BNB 591, Solana 123, Dogecoin 16 cents, Cardano 63 cents, and Tron 23 cents. Now, Bitcoin continuing in this downtrend we have been in since January. Pretty depressing. Bitcoin price this past week falling below the 200-day moving average in orange, the 21 EMA in blue, and approaching very quickly this line in the sand, $73,000 previous resistance potentially turned support. Now, if we take a look at the last time that the 21 EMA dove underneath the 200-day moving average, that would be all the way back here in August of 2024, towards the end of the consolidation period. And this green line right here is the chart of what happened next. Now, caution for those leverage traders, because look at the wild moves this has. Jumps up to $90,000, jumps down to $75,000, jumps back up to $90,000, down to $83,000, and then finally takes off. So could have some dangerous moves ahead of us. And tomorrow's April Fool's Day, so why wouldn't we? Well, big moves are expected. The Bitcoin open interest on BitMEX has surged from 250 million to 291 million in just 48 hours. That's right, a 20% increase in just 48 hours. Something big is about to happen, and a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. Now, some people are betting on the market going up. April typically being a good month for Bitcoin, averaging 11.26% since 2011. And if we take a look at this chart, historically, April is the month where Bitcoin starts going parabolic, and then in May it stops going parabolic for about 6 months, and then resumes going parabolic again in November. Are we going to have the same thing? Well, some of the proponents for this theory, like Raoul Pal, saying the waiting game is almost over, the 10-week lead is his preferred. Everyone right now, it seems, is looking at the global M2 money supply saying, hey, Bitcoin follows this with like a 10-week lag, and since this is going back up, Bitcoin's going to go back up. It just seems like way too many people are looking at this as the Bitcoin's last hope. And the one thing that they are not mentioning recently is that while everyone's talking about the bullish narrative for Bitcoin as global liquidity grows, guess what? What they aren't telling you is that the global money supply dropped nearly $1 trillion in the past 2 weeks. So how does this affect things, you might be wondering? Well, CryptoFace, he's been a very, very good trader for a very, very long time. And he says Bitcoin new weekly candle is not clipping up as of now. This would invalidate bull run thesis until further notice. Devil candles incoming unless we see that wave go up. Uh-oh, that could be bad. Not only for Bitcoin, but also for altcoins. Right now, the biggest gap between Bitcoin and altcoins in history. Holy cow. And the Bitcoin capital multiplier right now, below 1, suggesting a relative oversupply and more than $1 of capital needed to flow in to create $1 move in valuations. Oversupply means investor patience will be tested. Preparing a post on these dynamics soon. But if we take a look at other times when it was down around these levels, this was kind of close to the bottom before a run up. This was kind of towards the end of a bull market. This was towards the bottom before a run up. This was kind of towards the end of a bull market. And so it's kind of like 50-50. Either we're at a bottom or bull market's over, and so nobody freaking knows, and there's a big move coming, and nobody knows what direction it's going to go. However, afterwards, I guarantee 50% of the people will say they knew, which is just statistically true because, 50% say it's going up, 50% say it's going down. and they're always going to be right. Now, the Bitcoin macro index signals a bearish divergence. Now, what is that? The tops going up, and of this, the tops going down, casting doubt on Bitcoin's path to $110,000 as key metrics struggle to recover. Looking very similar to this double top that we saw here. Now, this is not exactly a double top, but this is an ascending double top on a trend line. Could we have the same dynamic forming? Time will tell again. But one of my favorite predictive indicators for Bitcoin, the on-balance volume. When we have a breakout of Bitcoin on-balance volume, we have a breakout of Bitcoin. Now, we don't have a breakout just yet, but it is testing the trend line. Take a look at this. The on-balance volume. Test the trend line. When it breaks through the trend line, look at that. Bitcoin blows up. Same thing happens again here. Breaks through that downtrend, and then boom, Bitcoin breaks up. Now, right now, it is coiling in this wedge, testing at the upper bounds. Could we break out of here? Because that could suggest a big move up for Bitcoin. Holy cow. But right now, for Bitcoin to resume its bull trend, it must clear two critical levels, the short-term holder realized price at $90,700 and the 3-month realized price at $97,300. Both of those are above where price is right now. You will notice that the last lows were $50,000. So for, and at least in my opinion, and this is a very terrible non-trader opinion, but in order for this bull run to be invalidated, Bitcoin would need to break below $50,000 and then guaranteed the bull run's over. But before it does that, if you look back on this volume profile, there's a lot of support here in the upper $50,000 and even that in the $60,000-ish area. So is that likely to happen? I don't know. If we take a look though, halving price still in its early stages. If we take a look, maybe this most recent rally we just had was like the summer rally of 2019 or the rally before that in 2016 or the one back here in 2012, the pre-halving rally. And then there's still a lot higher to go to get to these crazy insane levels. Let's hope the bull run is not over. But that's all for this episode. If you enjoyed it, like the video. There's a playlist right up there you might enjoy. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
Boom. Shakalaka.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.